Hi. So depending on which side of Samora Machel you grew up in, dynamics were definitely different. Where I grew up in, we got a lot creative in terms of the toys we used to play with, the balls we used to kick in the streets, play Wishu Drakaraka, the dolls we would put on our backs even if they were really plastic that was tied up, and if you get it, you get it. And one of the things we were taught in home economics was even when we'd go see our grandparents in the rural areas, was using clay to create things. Little clay pots that called hari in Shona in Zimbabwe, that could be used, if done right, could be used for cooking even. And whenever there was extra clay, we would take it and create our little dolls, and we would take time and would be excited and would compare, create the little heads, hands, body, would even get into the details and set some grass and be like, mine has hair, okay, Barbie dolls and everything. And we'd be so proud when we were making these creations. We'd be so excited at the notion of having, once they dry up, that we could play mahumbe with it. Like by tomorrow, this is going to be a Barbie doll when it dries up. We'd be so proud. We would put intricate details. We would compare. Even with our knittings, we would compare, we would switch up the colors of threads that we used, so it'd be colorful, a scarf that went on and on and on, and would take pride. The first thing morning after you did your chores, you'd run to your knitting and check on your dolls to see if it's dry. We were creative. We were proud of our creativeness. We were proud of the results, and we would guard our little creative things with our might. We loved them. May have seemed minuscule, but we loved our little dolls that we created. Once in a while, little boys, sometimes little mean girls too, would come through when we just set up our dolls to dry up. Or maybe when they dried up and we were getting ready to set up our kitchens and play, and they would come because they knew our dolls were sensitive. They were also fragile and vulnerable, and that they needed proper care for them to break apart. But they would come running from where they were intentionally and come to where they were and stomp on them, laughing while at it. And we would watch in despair and anger and hurt as we watched the very things that we had put so much effort and time into get destroyed. And now we couldn't use them. Now I couldn't play with it. I would cry because I was sensitive. I would get major angry. Because why would you do that? I took time to create that. And you came and decided this was not worth preserving. This was not worth picking up carefully and holding kindly so that it doesn't break apart. And with tears filled in our eyes, we would pick our little dolls and some remold it and get more water and put water on it because it was about to dry, and get it wet again and start remolding it again because we still have an anticipated use and purpose for it because we loved it. Sometimes they would get our knittings that we had carefully wrapped up because we knew if one of the knits slips out, which was really 2 stalks of grass most of the times because my mom wouldn't let you use actual knittings because you could pull each other. If one was taken out, they would just unravel it and everything that you had knitted would be turned into thread. And we would sit back and we would run and tell our moms, Ninge so and so came and did this to my thing. And them being busy with life, sometimes they would say, sorry, just go create another one. Or the boys would come in their defense with proof and false witnesses and say, no, we didn't do it. It wasn't that bad. We kicked it, but I only kicked the hand and it broke off. I didn't kick the whole body, but I did kick it, even though I wasn't the one who created it. And God said to me, that's how I feel. When I look at my creation, especially women, that I've taken time to create, that I've given value. In the book of Genesis or Genesis Garden, Genesis 1:25-28, I think, and he says, I created men and women in my image, meaning the intrinsic value was already predetermined from the beginning of the man and the woman. There was no differentiation of that value. Both were created in his image. And God is valuable, right? That when we succumb ourselves to situations where people do that, in whatever regard, mentally, physically, emotionally, harsh words, unkindness, berating, God looks at us and it hurts him. If it could hurt me with my little clay doll, how much more does it hurt God when we're subjected to abuse as women, when we are broken down and kicked on, and when we cry out? They say, I didn't kick too hard. You should be able to take it. Your grandmother took it. I didn't kick the leg. I only kicked. And God said, I created everyone with value. I want women to know who I view them as. Not society, not cultural norms, not 50-year marriages that were really toxic. That I determine your value. That when you allow someone to abuse you, when you allow someone to step on you and stomp you until you are flat, that God can't even use you when you're in that state. The dreams that he had for you when he was creating you can't happen because you have been destroyed. That the purpose that is placed inside of you will never come to fruition because you spend your nights crying. That you will never see yourself the way he sees you because someone told you that God hates divorce. I'm coming back on that one. But for today, thank God for mercy, because after that he still picks us up if we let him. And we remove ourselves from this environment. He picks us up and he remolds us. It is up to you to go back to God to remold you after whatever brokenness you've endured, after whatever abuse you've endured. God does not like abuse. From the book of Genesis to Revelations, he was in the habit of releasing people he loved from abusive situations and oppression and manipulation. There is no valid reason why it's okay for anyone to stomp on you. Not even if they stand behind the pulpit. Your value was predetermined. Everything else that we're taught are lies. No one has the right to stomp on you. No one has the right to break you apart. Because you're created in the image of God. And your value is intrinsic. The ones that are stomping were also his creation, that he created in his image. No one was given the power to trample on another, regardless of sex, regardless of society. I just wanted to say that.